The female goddess is called Izanami. The male god is called Izanagi. What is the relationship between these two gods? One male, one female. They are siblings, brother and sisters, as well as husband and wife. Hello everyone, this is Giraffe. Today we are going to talk about the Japanese mythology. The story of Japanese mythology is very complicated because there are many gods. Every god has its own name. Generally speaking, the story itself is not complicated. Only the figures are extremely complicated, so we focus on the plots. The beginning of the Japanese mythology starts with the world being full of chaos. 5 gods emerged from this chaos. Among these 5 gods, the most formidable one is Amano Minakinushi, the lord of the central haven. The second most formidable is the god who created the sky, called Takami Ukano Mitama no Kami. The third is the god who created the ground, called Kamyu Ukano Mitama no Kami. The fourth is a god of energy, Yomoshi Asu Kobabi Kukuri no Kami. The fifth is Ameno Tajikaro no Kami, the god of heaven's everlasting stability, the god of infinity and time. These 5 gods have no gender and no defined appearance, but from their form, you can get an idea of what they might look like. Because the gods of Japan are not single individuals, their unity is symbolized by Hashira pillar, similar to the demon slayer crops, like 5 Hashira, 5 pillars. After these 5 gods appear, 12 gods emerged. These 12 gods are divided into 7 generations. The first generation is a single god. The second is also a single god without gender. From the 3rd to 7th generation, these 5 generations are couples. 1 male god and 1 female god follow this pattern. They are called 1 yin god and 1 yang god. Among these 5 couples, the most important is the last couple. The female goddess is called Izanami. The male god is called Izanagi. What is the relationship between these 2 gods? 1 male, 1 female. They are siblings, brother and sisters, as well as husband and wife. In Japanese mythology, the world is divided into 3 layers. The highest layer is the god's realm called Takamagahara, high plane of heaven. The middle layer is the human realm called Ashihara no Nakatsukuni, the central land of red plains, also called world of humanity. The lowest layer is called realm of roots, Gandai no Kuni, or called rootland. The land of yellow springs means underworld. The structure resembles that of northern myth. Another similar part of northern mythology is that the bottom is called rootland, also called the land of yellow springs. It is said to be a spring at bottom called yellow springs. This part is similar. In Chinese mythology, it is also the same. The underworld is also called Huangquan, the yellow springs. Long time ago, the top god, who is the sky god, ordered Izanami and Izanagi to descend and create the world and the land. When these 2 came to earth, the whole world was full of water with nothing else. They stood on a floating bridge, holding a long spear. They stirred the water, then pulled back, forming land. They stood on this land. After creating the land, they placed a giant pillar to connect to heavenly court. They stood on each side of the pillar and said, "Later we will create all the things of the world." How to create? Their union can give birth to everything in the world by interconnecting with each other to create everything. How to interconnect? How to combine? They stood on each side of the pillar. They walked toward each other in the middle, met, and then interconnect. Then all things were born. The process and ritual are like this. In Japanese myth, it is written, the female goddess Izanami said, "Such a cute and handsome young guy." The male god Izanagi said, "Then let's interconnect." After the interconnect, nothing is born. Then they went to ask the god of heaven, "What happened? Why did it fail?" The god of heaven said, "Cannot from the female. A female must not speak first. It should start from the male, for the male to lead." Then they returned to the sides of the pillar and went to the middle. The male said, "Oh, such a beauty." Then the female said, "Then let's interconnect." After interconnecting, they gave birth to 8 lands. What they gave birth are not just some things, but 8 lands. We don't know whether these are 8 parts of Japan or 8 continents in the world. The myth in Japan refers to the 8 continents. After creating the 8 continents, they continue to give birth to the souls of everything, like the soul of stone, the soul of water, the soul of rivers and lakes, the soul of mountains, the soul of clouds, the soul of wind, as well as husband and wife. They too gave birth to everything. And it is not only the goddess who gave birth, the male god also gave birth. Together, these two, yin and yang, combine together and spray out some spirits. The spirits actually refers to gods. What did the previous gods do? They did nothing. This part were not mentioned in the ancient books. The Japanese myth contain many gods, but they just appeared then disappeared. Where did they go? No one knows. The main gods are only a few. After giving birth to the souls of everything, the last to be born was the soul of fire, which caused the goddess, the female goddess Izanami, to die. She gave birth to the soul of fire. Then the fire spirit burned her to death. The male god Izanagi saw this and was very angry. With one knife, he killed the fire spirit. Izanagi valued his wife, who is also his younger sister, very much. So he chased to the underworld. He chased to the yellow springs, found the goddess Izanami, and said to her, "Come back with me." Izanami said, "Too late. I already ate the meal from the underworld." Because she ate the meal, she cannot go back. The underworld is completely dark. Izanagi can see nothing, only hear some sounds. Then Izanagi said, "It is fine. I will stay here for you, accompany you. I cannot lose you." Very touching. The goddess Izanami said, "How about this? Since we are all gods, I will go ask the higher authorities. Maybe they can let me come back to life. Wait here for me, but make sure don't look in my direction." Even though it is completely dark, she still emphasizes, "Don't look." But the god Izanagi still took a look. Izanagi waited there, and in the darkness, there was nothing. And he waited for a long time, with no response, no news. He was thinking, "She didn't let me save her." He lit a fire and looked. Oh! Izanami's whole body was rotting. Her face was covered with decay and maggots. He was terrified and ran away immediately. Izanami was thinking, "You just said you want to accompany me. You want to keep me company. Why are you running away now?" So she committed the ugly woman from the underworld to chase and kill Izanagi. This ugly doesn't mean her appearance is ugly, it means evil. The evil demon chased him. Izanagi ran more slowly than the demon. The demon was about to catch up with him. He threw his mustache to the ground, which turned into a cluster of grapes. The demon stopped at that place and ate the grapes. Then he continued running, and the demon chased after him again. He threw something else away, which turned into a bamboo shoot. The demon started to eat the bamboo shoot again. Then Izanagi kept running. The demon was about to catch him again. He sprayed some urine, which transformed into a huge river. The demon swam through the river and continued to chase him. At this time, Izanagi ran to the entrance of the underworld and climbed out. He placed a giant stone to seal the entrance. After sealing the entrance, the goddess Izanami thought, "You are so bad. You just said you couldn't lose me, and now you see me like this," and ran away immediately. "If you act like this, I swear I will kill 100 spirits in your world." Then the male goddess Izanagi said, "If you are going to say that, I can do nothing for this. From now on, I will give birth to 1,500 gods to ensure our prosperity and continuous development. And also from now on, I won't see you anymore. From now on, we are separate by yin and yang." So at this place, Izanagi and Izanami separate forever, and they two hate each other. Why? Just because the goddess Izanami was full of maggots, full of decay, then the god left her, it means the person you love, no matter how much you love them, once they turn into a skeleton, you cannot love them anymore. You just love their appearance. Just tell a story like this. If the person you love isn't that look, you won't love them anymore. Even if you think you love that person's mind, his spirit, at this part, they don't really exist. Change to another look and you won't love anymore. It is said that the gods are actually similar to humans. Why is it like this? We will talk about this later. Then, after Izanagi returned from the underworld, his body was covered with dirt. So he went to a river and prepared to wash off the dirt. During the washing process, he continuously created new gods. Those dirt transformed into the gods of disaster, and at the same time also created the gods of disaster removal. The gods came in pair. Whenever a god of a disaster was born, a god of disaster removal would also be created. Also, during the shower, three very important gods, the core gods of Japanese mythology, were created. Actually only two, but these three appeared together. The first one is Amaterasu or Mikami, the sun goddess. The second is Tsukuyomi, the moon god in Japanese mythology. The third is called Susanoo, the storm god in Japanese mythology, the god of chaos. These three are called Sankishi, the three noble children or three great kami in Japanese mythology. Amaterasu or Mikami is the highest god in the divine realm, ruling the entire world and representing light. Do you know how many gods are in the whole divine realm? In Japanese myth, there are 8 million gods. As long as one appears, that god will have a different name from others. The god of moon is in charge of darkness, but the god of moon only appears once here, then disappears, never shows up again. The god of storm, the god of chaos, is the most important god, who is in charge of the human realm. Actually, at first, he was not in charge of the human realm. He was in charge of ocean. But he didn't want to manage the ocean, so he cried every single day. His father asked him, "Why do you cry every day?" He said, "I want to see my mother. I want to go to the underworld and take a look." But his father was very afraid of underworld. His father ran away from the underworld. So he said, "If you want to meet your mother, then go away, leave the heaven realm." So he was chased away from the heaven realm and went to the human realm. Later, his father retired and handed over all his authorities to his daughter, Amaterasu or Mikami. After his father retired, Susanoo returned to heaven. He went to find his sister because their father was not there. He was thinking whether he could come back to heaven or not. His older sister very much disliked this younger brother because he is the god of chaos, just like Loki in the northern myth, the one who creates lots of troubles, a terrorist. His older sister went to see him. After she met Susanoo, she asked, "What are you here for?" Susanoo said, "I came to catch up and also to ask if you can let me come back." His older sister was also afraid of him. She said, "How about this? It is fine if you come back, but there is one condition. We need to exchange hostages." How to exchange? Let's combine together. The Amaterasu gave birth to 3 goddesses, and Susanoo gave birth to 5 gods. Then they exchanged 3 for 5. Each set would have hostages from the opposite set. Then Susanoo can stay in heaven. Susanoo agreed, and he stayed in heaven. Susanoo stayed in heaven, but it turned out he was not well behaved. He caused chaos every day. He rides on others' head to defecate. This was recorded in Japanese myth. As time went by, some gods even died because of him. Think about it. This made Amaterasu scared. She hid inside a mountain hole and refused to come out. She is the goddess of the sun. She hid behind the mountain cave, and then the whole world turned dark. After the whole world turned dark, the 8 million gods thought, "This cannot go on. This isn't working. We have to make Amaterasu come out. Let her come out of the mountain cave." But Amaterasu used a stone to seal herself. No one could get her out. At this time, the 8 million gods held a meeting. There was a god of wisdom. He said, "I have a plan." Then they asked what it was. The god of wisdom said, "Dancing." He found a female god of dance and said, "Dance for us." Then he told Melty God, "Wait beside the entrance of the cave. When Amaterasu comes out, drag her out." So the goddess of dance started dancing there. Other gods didn't know what was happening, so they just watched. As she danced, everyone found it very interesting and laughed loudly. Their laughter was heard by Amaterasu. She thought, this can't be true. Outside, it is dark like this. The other gods should be scared. Why are they laughing? She pushed the stone a little bit to say what was going on. As long as she pushed, the mighty god dragged her out. Then Amaterasu came out. Later, she sent Susanoo back to the human realm and forbidden him from going back to heaven. When Susanoo returned to the human realm, at first there was nothing to eat. He was very hungry, so he found the food god. You gave me something to eat. According to the myth, the god of food took some food from his mouth, nose, and even his backside. These details come from the myth. Saying this, Susanoo said, you are insulting me, and he killed the god of food. After the food of God died, his body transformed into all kinds of crops. From then on, the world was filled with crops. Actually, I think the food god was asking for death himself. Later, Susanoo came to the human realm and arrived at a place called Izumo in Shimen Prefecture, Japan. In this place, he met an old couple who were also gods. At this time, the human realm was full of gods because they were all children and subjects of the gods. He met an old couple called Foot-stroking Elder and Hand-stroker Elder, who were also gods. This old couple was crying. Susanoo went to ask the old man, what happened? The old couple said, our place is troubled by a giant monster, an 8-headed giant snake. It just so happened that I have 8 daughters, and this snake eats one of my daughters every year. Now I only have 1 daughter left, and the snake is coming soon. I think she probably cannot be saved this time. Susanoo looked at his daughter. She was very pretty. So Susanoo said to the old couple, how about this? I will help you solve this problem. I am the younger brother of Amaterasu, and I am very formidable. No problem at all. Let me handle it. Hearing this, the old couple thought, oh, he is the younger brother of Amaterasu. Of course, no problem. So Susanoo turned his daughter into a comb and inserted it into his head. The name of this daughter varies in different versions. The shortest name is called Kiwata Hime or Princess Kiwata. Later, Susanoo built a wall, opened 8 doors, and placed a giant wine jar in front of each door. It is said that this giant monster liked drinking wine. And indeed, this snake came out. After it appeared, each of its 8 heads was put into one of the 8 doors, and they began drinking wine. Once they finished, they got drunk. Susanoo then jumped out and cut off their heads. Susanoo killed this snake, then opened its body. Inside the belly of the giant snake, he discovered a divine artifact called Kusanagi sword. It is one of the 3 imperial regalia of Japan, a legendary sword. It is one of the 3 divine items from Japan. Now the emperor possesses this sword, the sword inside the giant snake. This sword has been passed down through generations, from emperor to emperor. All 3 divine items were created from that time. When the emperor transcended, these 3 divine items were exchanged. The current emperor of Japan, when he got the throne, these 3 divine items were exchanged. When these 3 divine artifacts come together, it is not for magic or spells. Rather, they are used to verify who is the true master, who owns Japan, who is the child of gods. Only a child of gods can possess this, because they originally belonged to the divine. Susanoo acquired this sword because he wanted to establish a good relationship with his sister, so he gave her this sword as a gift. His sister received it, thought it was quite valuable, and kept it. Later, she gave it to the emperor. After that, Susanoo lived together with that comb, and they have a lot of descendants, have a lot of next generations. The 6th next generation grandson of Susanoo was called Okuninushi, also called Great Land Master. Okuninushi had more than 80 brothers. These 80 brothers were called 80 gods, but Okuninushi was not included among them. He was different from the other brothers. He was constantly bullied by the 80 gods, and they asked him to do this and that. In fact, all the gods are descendants of Susanoo. Since Susanoo is quite bad, his descendants are generally regarded as not very good either. Only Okuninushi is considered a good person, very gentle and kind. Next to the land where they live, there is a beauty called Yoshohime, Princess Yosho. Okuninushi and his 80 brothers all like Princess Yosho, so they decided that all of them would go to her. On their way, they encountered a white rabbit. This white rabbit had no fur, and its whole body was aching. It asked the 80 gods for help. They told it, "Go to that ocean, wash yourself, and let the wind dry you." The rabbit ran into the ocean, screamed, "Oh, it is too painful," and then went to a place with strong winds to blow dry itself. But the skin cracked, and it hurt terribly. These 80 gods were very cruel and purposely used harsh methods. Saying this, Okuninushi said, "Rabbit, what happened to you?" The rabbit replied, "Actually, today I came from another island and I want to pass through this ocean, but I don't know how to swim. I saw many crocodiles in the ocean. The myth says crocodiles, but in Japan doesn't have crocodiles. It is very strange. We will mention about this later. There are some strange parts inside that suggest it might not be Japanese mythology." Okuninushi wanted to use this crocodile to help the rabbit to cross this island. So he came up with a plan. He said, "Crocodiles, you see, you have so many brothers, many crocodiles. I also have lots of brothers. How about we compare whose family has more members?" The crocodile agreed, saying, "Okay, let's compare." Okuninushi said, "How do we count?" The rabbit replied, "How about this? Line up in a single row from this island to that side. I will jump over and count one by one. Count how many crocodiles you have. Then we will say who has more." The crocodiles said, "Okay," and line up in a single line. The rabbit jumped 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, all the way to the end. He thought, "These crocodiles are so stupid," and said, "A bunch of idiots." Hearing this comment, the last crocodile stopped him, peeled the rabbit's skin. Okuninushi said to the rabbit, "Don't go to wash in the ocean, go to that river. Use fresh water to wash yourself and cover yourself with pollen. It will heal you." The rabbit listened to him and soon it recovered. Then the rabbit asked, "Where are you heading now?" He said, "We are going to Princess Yasha." The rabbit replied, "Don't worry, Princess Yasha will definitely choose you." Why? The rabbit said a prediction, a prophecy here. His name is White Rabbit. In Japanese mythology, things in white are divine stuffs with meaningful significance, like in traditional Japanese wedding, the bride will be all in white, and also like white crane, white tortoise, white turtle, white rabbit. Then later, Okuninushi went to a neighboring country and met Princess Yasha. All the gods went to Princess and told her they love her. But the princess said, "I don't like you guys. I don't like 80 gods, only Okuninushi. I will marry him." The 80 gods were very angry and planned to kill him, kill Okuninushi on the way back. How to kill Okuninushi? Not just kill him, set some traps, cause accidents. Why not just kill him directly? Because it is not harsh enough. They told Okuninushi, "There are wild boar in our mountain. We want to catch one to eat. You stay here to stop it, and we will go chase it out." Okuninushi said, "I will stay and stop it." But then they went to the top of the mountain, threw down a burning stone, and it burned Okuninushi to death. And Okuninushi died. After Okuninushi died, his mother went to heaven and said, "My son was killed by the 80 gods. They were so bad. The 80 gods were so wicked." She asked if she could do something. The heaven thought it was 80 gods' fault. So the heaven allowed Okuninushi rebirth, and he was reborn. Okuninushi said, "Very hot, so hot, what is happening?" The 80 gods were like, "Oh my god, why are you reborn?" Then they devised another plan to kill Okuninushi. They used a tree. They chopped open the tree trunk and trapped him inside, pressed him until he was crushed. Okuninushi died again. His mother went to heaven again, and later she told Okuninushi, "Stay away from the 80 gods. It is too dangerous. I can't keep going to heaven to bring you back to life." So Okuninushi left that place of the 80 gods. Later, he learned from a god that he was descended from the next generation of Susanoo. He was told, "Go find Susanoo, he might help you." One day, Okuninushi came to Susanoo. His first encounter was Susanoo's daughter, Susari Hime, Susari Princess. When Princess saw Okuninushi, she immediately fell in love with him. They arranged to meet again, and soon later, Okuninushi married her. Okuninushi is the 6th generation descendant of Susanoo, and his daughter Susari Princess is the grandmother or great-grandmother of his lineage. This chaos is because they don't have a lifespan. Therefore, they can endlessly combine with all kinds of possible permutation. Later, Susari Princess brought Okuninushi home to meet Susanoo. Susanoo didn't actually like Okuninushi because he thought he wasn't evil enough. How about this? Tonight, you stay in this house. Okay, then I will stay here. His daughter knew her father wasn't a good one, so she told Okuninushi, "Take this handkerchief. If there is any danger, wave this handkerchief to protect yourself." Okuninushi was wondering what kind of danger he might face. That night, snakes appeared from all directions in the house. Okuninushi was scared and waved the handkerchief. The snakes then retreated. The next day, Susanoo thought Okuninushi had already died. However, Okuninushi went out and said, "Good morning." Susanoo replied, "Oh, you should stay somewhere else. Go to stay in that house." Okuninushi did as he was told, thinking it was fine. But at night, a lot of centipedes came out again. He waved the handkerchief once more, and those insects withdrew again. On the 3rd day, he appeared again and said, "Good morning." Susanoo saw this and thought, "It seems I need to use my ultimate move." He said, "Come with me. Follow me to the plain." Susanoo shot an arrow into the distance, far away, and said, "If you are clever enough, you should know where my arrow went. Go find it." Okuninushi ran into that plain. Later, Susanoo said, "I will shoot the fire arrow." The entire plain was engulfed in fire. Okuninushi was trapped inside and was about to be killed. At this very moment, a mouse appeared, ran to Okuninushi's feet, and said, "Come with me." The mouse led him into a huge underground hole. The fire burned out, but Okuninushi was still safe. The mouse found the arrow and handed it to him. Okuninushi escaped from the burning ground and said, "I found your arrow." Susanoo was shocked, thinking Okuninushi was definitely going to die. Gradually, he realized Okuninushi might have some special ability. As a final test, Susanoo said, "Scratch the lice on my head." His head was covered with many lice. Okuninushi parted his hair and found it was full of centipedes. His daughter knew her father wasn't a good one, so she prepared a tree seed and red soil, giving them to Okuninushi. Okuninushi was very clever. He put these substances in his mouth, chewed them for a while, and then spat them out. Susanoo saw something red coming out and thought, "Dare you chew my centipedes? Very formidable." He gradually fell asleep. Okuninushi and Princess saw Susanoo fall asleep, then tied his hair to a pillar. They stole his valuable sword, his precious bow, and a koto, a harp. Hugging these treasures, then ran away. Susanoo fell into a deep sleep. When they ran, the koto, the harp, fell to the ground, making some sounds that woke Susanoo up. When Susanoo released his hair, they had already run very far away. Susanoo stood there and shouted, "Okuninushi! Good, good. You are impressive. You have earned my approval. From now on, the human realm belongs to you. From now on, your name is not Okuninushi, but Master of the Great Land. However, there's one condition. You must marry my daughter as your wife. Later, you will build a gigantic palace. You, such a reckless person." This was indeed from the ancient Japanese texts. As a result, this master of the great land received a valuable knife and a valuable bow and unified the human realm. From then on, he built a very stable and prosperous country. Many years passed, and Amaterasu suddenly remembered something. She asked, "How is the human realm doing?" It is said that the human realm is now managed very well by Susanoo's great-great-great-great-grandson called master of the great land. Amaterasu thought, he is the next generation of Susanoo. Not good. Probably still an evil one. How about we get that place back? Let's send an assassin to take back that land from me. Send who? The one we just mentioned. Those exchanged hostages, the first god among them. The first god saw the situation and said, I will not go. So Amaterasu sent the second one, who was also one of the exchanged hostage gods, called Amano-Hohai. Amano-Hohai went there, and shortly after arriving, fell in love with the land that Master of the Great Land ruled, and he lived on. Many years passed, and he didn't go back. Amaterasu was thinking, I sent someone, why hasn't he come back? Now she decided to send a very formidable one. Send who? Send Blade God there, called Takemikazuchi. When Blade God went down and met Master of the Great Land, he said, this land belongs to our Amaterasu. We are going to withdraw it. You make the decision yourself. He continued, either I take it by force, or you give it to me willingly. Master of the Great Land replied, what you said did make sense. At that moment, the son of the Master of the Great Land came out. His son was also a god called Takeminakata. Takeminakata asked, who are you? Why are you asking for our land? We are members of the Master of the Great Land, not ordinary people. How about this? We fight with each other. Whoever wins gets to call the shots. What do you think? The blade god, Takemikazuchi, was thinking. You talk to me like this. How dare you talk me like that? So they too decided to fight. The result was the blade god won the battle, and the son was defeated. After defeating the master of the great land, the master said, okay, I will hand over the country to you, but I have one requirement. You must build a giant divine palace for me to worship me from now on. The palace is today's Izumo Teisha, Izumo Grand Shrine. Inside the palace, the worshipper is master of the great land. Based on this requirement, from now on, this land, the land of Japan, would be managed by Amaterasu. After Amaterasu received this land, she still needed to send gods to manage it. Send who? Amaterasu sent the god we just mentioned earlier, the one among the exchanged hostages, the first god that Amaterasu chose, and he was unwilling to go, but he had a son, so the goddess let him go instead, called Ninigi no Mikoto. Actually, the full name is even longer. Shortly, we just call him Inigi. So Inigi came down to the human realm. This event is very important in Japanese myth. It is called Tensong Korein, the descent of the celestial grandson. He is the grandson of Amaterasu, so he is called divine grandson. When this Inigi arrived in human realm, the first thing he did was to find a wife. He saw a family that had a very beautiful daughter. This beauty is called Konohana Sakuya Hime, also called Cherry Tree Blossom Blooming Princess. Then Inigi said to the princess, I'm going to marry you. I am the divine grandson. What do you think? This beauty is very happy. She said, I need to go back and ask my father. Then she brought the divine grandson back. Her father saw the divine grandson and was very astonished. Oh, it is a divine grandson. Of course, no problem. What's more, he said, my daughter is the younger sister, and she also has an older sister. If you don't mind, marry both of them. The divine grandson was thinking, the younger sister is this pretty, then the older sister should also be good looking. Alright, I accept, he replied. But after marrying them too, he found out that these two sisters were completely different. The older sister didn't match his expectations. The younger sister's name is Cherry Tree Blossom Blooming Princess, and she is very beautiful. The older sister's name is Iwanaga Hime, also called Rock Princess. The divine grandson disliked the older sister and directly cast her into the cold harem. Some texts say she was simply sent back. Actually, the two sisters are like this. Cherry Tree Blossom Blooming Princess, the younger one, means although she is very pretty, her lifespan is very short. Just like flower, blooming for a moment. The older sister, Rock Princess, is like a stone, symbolizes stability, strength, and longevity, just like a stone with no lifespan. So the older sister may be ugly, but her lifespan is very long. The divine grandson chose the younger sister and did not choose the older one. Later, all the generation of the divine grandson, their lifespans transformed into shorter, lost part of their capacity. This capacity is the infinity of lifespan. And the next generation of the divine grandsons are human beings, us. So we used to be the gods. We have infinite lifespan. But because of divine grandson chose the younger sister, chose the beauty. So now we all have a lifespan. This is the future for us, for human beings. As we talk here, humans actually appeared. Then divine grandson Inigi and the princess got a lot of next generations. And their great-grandson became the first emperor of Japan, Emperor Jimmu. This entire story is part of the Japanese mythology. What I just described is actually written in Japanese book called The Record of Old Stories, Kojiki. And this book was not written by nobody. It is a famous and official history book published by the country. The book dates back to around 1400. At that time, Japan didn't have its own written language. People only spoke. They borrowed words from ancient China, the Tang Dynasty, applying their pronunciation to write down this mythology. Thus, the myth stories are very difficult to understand. The characters do not present actual meanings but are used to convey pronunciation. You have to read them aloud to guess what they mean. It's like guessing the story from sound. Even Japanese people cannot fully understand it, nor can Chinese scholars. So Kojiki is the mythological account used to describe how Japan was formed, how the Japanese imperial authority came into being. How did it come into being? It is very similar to the concept of the Bible, which is also a story about origins. By the way, I just mentioned the book contains a mystery. It is not only about the crocodile, but overall, the book discusses everything from the mythological origins up to the 33rd emperor. It covers a very long history of Japan. Surprisingly, this entire history doesn't mention Mountain Fuji. That's very strange. Archaeologists find it very odd and say, it is our Japanese history. How come there's no mention of Mountain Fuji? The book talks a lot about mountains, mentions many different kinds of mountains and all kinds of spirits residing there, but it doesn't mention Mountain Fuji. It feels like Mountain Fuji appears after this myth story, almost as a later addition. Let's go back to the beginning. The reason why even the Japanese themselves don't seem to fully understand the Japanese myth, not only because they cannot understand the context, but mainly because of the World War II. During the World War II, Japan was defeated and became a conquered country. For a very long time, Japan was ruled under America. During this period, the American authorities erased Japanese myth from their curriculum completely. Before, these myths were part of their official history. What does this mean? It means that a defeated country effectively has no history, at least no recognized history. If you like this story, please subscribe to support. See you next time.